Guys, it's Kristen from 30percentbetter.com, and I'm here today with another article from my blog. This one is called 3 Ways to Gain More Spiritual Power from Your Patriarchal Blessing. So this is going to be talking about 3 specific methods you can use as you read through your blessing to get more from it and to become more because of it. So I got my patriarchal blessing when I was 14 years old, and I was so excited. I was basically hoping that it would tell me the name of my future husband, what he would look like, how many kids we were going to have, what his job would be, whether I would have a job, just basically lay it all out for me so I wouldn't have any guesswork. And while my blessing definitely didn't do that, it was full of so much amazing information and so much inspiration. And I remember after I got my blessing, just going home and in the car being so overwhelmed not only with God's love for me, but also with all of the information that had just been given to me. I mean, when I got my blessing later, it was a few pages of what had been said. And I just felt overwhelmed, like there was so much information, it was hard to wrap my mind all around it. And so I found immediately, and then over the years, a couple of ways that I could read my blessing and get some specific things out of it, and by doing so, gain more spiritual power. So I want to share with you today those 3 methods that I've come upon that have really helped me. So the first method is one you might have done before, and this is when you dissect your blessing. This is not like science class. You don't have to have any frogs in the room for this. You're going to dissect your blessing and actually create a table or a chart for this, which I love. I'm an organization geek. I love to create tables and charts. And so you're going to create 5 categories, and you're going to write underneath each of those categories anything within your blessing that fits in them. Now, the 5 categories are going to be counsel. These are words of specific direction or guidance that you're given. The next will be blessings. So these are blessings or spiritual gifts that you've been given. So things that God has given to you, blessings in your life. The third are promises that might be contingent on your faith or on your faithfulness. But these are promises that God gives to you. If you're faithful, these things will happen. Then there are warnings. Those are specific warnings against sin or against anything, just any warning that God gives you. And the last one is my favorite, number 5, and these are words of love. These are the things that God has to say about you. These are the words he uses to describe you. And I've got another video I'll link below about how to get the most out of those specific words, because that has really blessed my life. So those are 5 categories you can use as you read your blessing to dissect your blessing, to go through it and find out, what does God want me to do? What counsel has he given me? What does he tell me that I need to be prepared for? What blessings have I been given? Have I been given a cheerful heart, or have I been given the ability to be patient? What does he see in me? What blessings has he given me? Promises. So these are the things that we're going to try to work toward. If I do this, then this blessing can be mine. Warnings, things to watch out for, things to be careful about, and then words of love. Those are the 5 categories. Now, if you want to go even further with those categories, then number 2 is good for you. And this is to color code your blessing. I probably wouldn't do this on the original that I received, but you can get a copy of your blessing, and you can do it actually today, right away. You can get an e-copy if you go on, and I'll include a link below. If you go onto a specific website and you have your login information for LDS.org, you can get a copy of your blessing. And I actually took mine and I printed it out in small enough sizes that it could fit into my scriptures. So I have that with me wherever I go, but especially during sacrament meeting. I love to look at my blessing. And what I did with that is I color-coded my blessing using those same 5 categories. So for blessings, I wrote those, or I color-coded those in blue. For counsel, I color-coded in yellow. Warnings are red, promises were green, and then words of love for me were pink. You could do that with whatever your favorite color is. So you color code your blessing, and then that makes it easier. Every time you look at your blessing, it's easy to find, what counsel does God have for me? What do I need to be aware of right now? Or if I'm feeling down, I can open that up and I can look for anything in pink and realize, oh yeah, God sees the good in me. I can see that too. So the first one was to dissect your blessing. The second one was to color code a copy of your blessing. And the third one is to map out your life. Now, this one takes a little more work. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of paper and you're going to plan out, what do you want your life to look like? Do you have plans to go back to school because you never finished your undergrad? And then maybe you want to get a job using that education. Or maybe you have plans to travel the world. Or maybe your plan is to go on a lot of missions, or whatever your plan is. Map all of that out as far as you have planned. And if you don't have it planned, figure it out. What would you want to do with your life? Map it out. And then you go to your blessing and you map that out on a separate piece of paper. And you map out, what does God have planned for my life? Now, this might not be terribly specific. He might not have said, you will go on 3 missions, or you should not travel the world. He probably didn't get that specific in your blessing, but map out as well as you can, what does God have planned for you? And then compare both of them. Look at them side by side and say, does my plan go with God's plan? Can these two things overlap and be aligned with each other? And if they're not, look at the plan for your life and see, how could I change things so that I'm in better alignment with God's plan for my life? So you're going to just map out your plan and then God's plan and see, how do those two things align, and then make some changes. So those are the 3 things you can do. It's very simple. Dissect your blessing, color code a copy of your blessing, and map out your life. Those 3 things can bring huge blessings as you read your patriarchal blessing. Rather than just going through it and reading through it and feeling good, you can get real spiritual power by recognizing those specific topics and by mapping out, what does God really want for me? It has worked for me. I hope it works for you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.